The first temptation happens at sort of ground level. And then the second temptation happens at the highest point of the temple. And then the third temptation happens on top of a high mountain. Everything goes up. And it may just be a coincidence, but I wonder if there is significance to this. As you might notice, the temptations get more severe as they go. For Jesus to turn down changing stones to bread, yes, he's hungry, but the issue really there is what's the correct use of his power. It was probably an easier thing to say no to. But then tempting God, that's a little harder. The idea that you could have control over the whole world, maybe that was a little harder. And so there's this sense that Satan takes Jesus up, keeps trying to offer him more and more. And I was thinking about that and also considering how you and I talk on just a regular basis about up. We get a raise. We get up or wake up in the morning. We climb the corporate ladder. A song is on the top of the charts. We go to a school of higher education. We move up in the world. We get upgraded, perhaps, at a vacation. We want to go to upscale restaurants. We say, well, I'm on top of the world. Or with the Olympics wrapping up, all those people wanted to be on the top step of the podium. There is a thing that we refer to as peak excitement. An athlete is peaking just at the right time. Perhaps they are at the height of their powers and skill. We talk about peak performance. Kids grow up. We talk about the highest grossing movie or the highest attendance. We talk about top 10 lists. We move up from the next grade in school or the next level of a sport. Jesus rejects all the temptations. We know that. I've just been wondering, is Jesus also rejecting this idea of up? Now, I just got to admit to you, this is going to be hard to get your head around because the language I just shared with you gives you an indication of how much this idea of up is good is ingrained in us. Why would you want anything else? But it seems to me, if you start thinking about Jesus and you look at what he does and how he acts, you will realize that Jesus is not ever interested in up. He doesn't, plot strategy to get bigger followings or, anything along those lines. As a matter of fact, it would appear that if you think about it, Jesus hangs around ordinary people. The idea of up, if you will, especially in a society, you can think of it as like a pyramid, right? There are sort of normal, regular people on the bottom. Maybe you might think of it as the poor. Lots of those people, as you get farther up, less and less. Those are the elites, the people in our society we celebrate. Leaders, celebrities, all that sort of thing. Jesus in his day rarely does anything with those people at the top. He is always interested with those ordinary people. He hangs around with tax collectors and sinners. That was a phrase used in that day to talk about people that you normally wouldn't want to hang around with. They're just not really nice people. As a matter of fact, the religious leaders of his day complained to Jesus, hey, if you're going to be a rabbi, you cannot possibly hang around with those people. You need to hang around people like us, the people up near the top, because that's where you want to go. Jesus ventures into Samaritan towns and villages. The Samaritans were a group of people that were looked down on, despised might be a polite way of putting it, by the Jewish people. And yet that's where Jesus goes. Jesus is moving down. He's hanging around the masses, not the elite of the society of his day. And if Jesus is heading down, I'm just wondering if you and I should be doing the same thing. But of course, that sounds crazy, right? We just watched 2 weeks of the Olympics where everybody is trying to be up, trying to be the best and all that. And we celebrate that, and that's a wonderful thing, I guess. And so we just get this ingrained in our being, and we're like, well, what would that mean for you and I to head down? Can I remind you of Mother Teresa of Calcutta? I don't know if you know her story. Yes, it's true. She started her, her life out as a religious woman, terrific, giving her life to the Lord in that way. But her order had her assigned to teaching at a girls' school, girls from the upper class in Indian society. She was hanging around with the elite, if you will. And what did God do? He calls her to hang around the bottom. He calls her down. And she spends the rest of her life working with the poor, people who are dying, people that nobody cared about at all. They are just out on the street. They'll die eventually, and then we'll do something about it. And she decided that God was calling her to minister to those people. And if you contrast Mother Teresa with, pick somebody, some elite person in our day and age. Take a corporate CEO, for example. What's the CEO got to show for his life at the end? He can say, oh, well, I increased the stockholder value for the company. He can certainly point to his personal success, his personal riches. But if you stop and compare that person with Mother Teresa, all her work, all her ministry, all that she accomplished, that is going to be around for generation after generation after generation. The CEO, people will say wonderful things about him, I'm sure, at the funeral. But that may be it. Nobody's going to remember him a generation later. Now, I will admit to you that Mother Teresa of Calcutta is a bit of an extreme example. And so, again, you might look at me and say, well, wait, I don't even get this. I don't understand how it is that I could possibly do this. And I'm not real clear about it in myself. I mean, I'm still working at this, trying to figure that out. Especially in the position I have, it's pretty easy to hang around the up, if you will. It takes some effort to hang around, to head down. Our Lenten theme this year, you can read about it a little bit in the bulletin. It's broken and healed. Broken and healed. I think our society would tell you that broken people are at the bottom and healed people are at the top. That's what happens, right? You get to the top and you're up near there and you're successful, and clearly you must be happy, you must have your act together, all that kind of thing. But I wonder if it is not actually the other way around, if the broken people are at the top. I know story after story after story of people who climbed the mountain that they thought they were supposed to climb, of success, whether it was corporate success or religious success, all sorts of things. They climbed that mountain with as much energy and commitment as they could put to it. They got up near the top and they woke up one morning and realized, I have climbed the wrong mountain. There is nothing up here. It is not where God wants me. Unfortunately, some of those stories end when those people, if you will, come down from that false mountain and then figure out the mountain they are supposed to climb. And they find their healing in the bottom. And so I just would encourage you to think about it, maybe as we continue through Lent. Maybe we should head down to the bottom where Jesus is at.